I'm back. Sorry, guys, for last week. I wasn't able to be there with you guys, but thankfully, I have Brian over here. He had a great guest and a great conversation with Sean. And today we are actually going to talk about some of the things that are happening in the online space. You probably already heard about faceless marketing. So today we're going to give you our 2 cents about it. We're also going to talk about the new 5 day challenge. It is called Learn, Launch, and Lead, I believe. I don't really remember, to be honest, but it was the new 5 day challenge from legendary marketer, which Dave Sharp just basically took his 15-day challenge and he made it even better and more condensed into a 5 day training. So literally in 6.5 hours, you can literally launch your online business. So it's super exciting, super cool. And then at the end, we're also gonna talk a little bit about income claims and how those marketers that you've been seeing are maybe hurting the business more than helping the industry. So Brian, good morning, brother. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well, Andrei. It's good to have you back. I was nervous last week going solo, but we were lucky enough to have a great guest, Sean McClellan, who is the co-creator of Funnel Freedom, which is Jonathan Montoya's project that we've talked to him about. So it was a great interview. I really did enjoy speaking with him, even though I did miss you. I did miss you. It didn't feel right, but I really did enjoy speaking with him. We got into it a little bit about uh, some of his other businesses as well, which was really interesting. We did talk about how Funnel Freedom works, but we also talked about his organic deodorant business, and it's some really cool stuff. And it was really interesting. But yeah, I'm glad to be back in my comfort zone with my podcast partner. And yeah, we're going to launch into it. We're going to talk about some hot topics in the affiliate marketing space and digital marketing space. I think we're going to start with faceless marketing. Is that right? It's all the buzz right now.
Yeah, so right now the faceless marketing is going around, right? And what's your opinion, Brian? Because I know I seen a couple of your content, and it makes sense what you're saying. You get me? So basically what you're saying is that for somebody to purchase a course about faceless marketing, that means that's exactly what they want to do. That means they don't want to be on camera at all. You get me? So would that affect their sales? You think so?
Yeah, that's some pretty strong opinions on it, Andre. And so we'll try to tone it down a little bit. I'll try to keep this unemotional. But the reason I have strong opinions about this, Andre, is because when you get in this business and you start to figure out what you want to do and what kind of products you want to build, what kind of education you want to provide, I really think back to my early days of affiliate marketing and how everything looks great. And that's because the marketers are trying to sell you their thing, which is fair game. I have nothing wrong with that. And as a marketer in the beginning, when you're first getting started, and this is like total side hustle stuff, what happens is you kind of naturally look for whatever's the easiest because you're busy when you're getting started. I mean, I personally was working 60 hours a week with a newborn baby and blah, 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 blah. We were nuts. You know what I mean? So I didn't have a lot of time and I didn't want to devote a lot of time to my side hustle because I didn't want to miss out on, first words, first steps, all those things that come with having a new baby. So I was looking for something that wouldn't take a lot of time. So as a human, I think we tend to look for whatever's easiest, but we forget that we also have to look for what will work. You know what I mean? And so the reason I am so passionate about this is because I don't want anyone to fall into this trap of really wasting time. So when we talk about faceless marketing, it's all the rage right now. Everyone's selling faceless marketing courses. There's MRR products that are really, pushing their faceless marketing modules. And I see this all in the space. And really what it stems from, in my opinion, I guess we'll start there, is it stems from the objections and insecurities of the target market. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of people these days who realize you can sell digital products online. It's a great business model. The self-education industry is booming because we all know what happens when you spend $100,000 on a college degree and then land a job that pays you 60. That just doesn't, the math isn't math in there.
Yeah.
And, I'm not 100% against college. I went to Michigan State University, loved my time. I think there's great value in networking, right? My good friend went to A&M, and I can see how strong his network is, and how it creates opportunities. But it's getting to the point where, unless you're going to Ivy League schools or specializing in something like becoming a doctor, like, I don't know how much value a college education has outside the network, and the fact that you can sometimes get a job because you're an Aggie or you're a Spartan or whatever. So the point I'm getting at is self-education is becoming the new norm, and it's a lot more inexpensive. It's a lot faster because you can specialize in the skills that you need. But back to faceless marketing, we see all these new folks, especially since the pandemic, who now realize that not only can they make money online, but they probably need to make some money online. And they have insecurities and objections. And one of the biggest ones is they don't want to go on camera. Maybe they're insecure about going on camera, which, guess what? We all were, for the most part. I look like a hostage the first time I went on camera. I'm sure it was uncomfortable for you, but you got to realize you got to do what you got to do. And the other thing is a lot of people don't want their friends to see them, pushing some new opportunity. But in my opinion, those are the things that you have to get over, because that's the most effective way to market. But what happens, and here's the point, Andrei, is that marketers, we're good. We want to sell people stuff. And one of the ways we sell people stuff is give them products that overcome their objections. So someone goes out there and validates faceless marketing, and now it becomes all the rage because people have this confirmation bias. They're like, there's got to be a way to make money online where I don't have to show my face. And then they see faceless marketing and they're like, boom, that's it. And they oftentimes buy into it without considering all the factors. And I think we'll get into the factors here momentarily.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, one of the factors is, people buy from people, right? Like, I honestly will not buy from a team page, I guess you can say. Because I guess when it's a faceless account, it's somewhat a team page, right? Or or you think it's a little different than that?
Yeah, I mean, that's all it is. It's just, really, if I were to be negative and really share my opinion, it's just generic content that is created to hopefully go viral and run into some sales, I think.
Yeah, and then you can do it in through a free way. You get me? So you can go to pexels.com and then pull out some videos, free royalty videos, and you can start doing it like that. But there are some paid websites as well where I think content creators have made their own little clips to make it look more aesthetic. Make it look good for women, good for men, without showing their face with their laptop. More about like targeted, which they look pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. But then when it's time to post that and then have a conversation with people, I feel like it's more work in the back end to try to convince somebody to purchase what you're trying to offer.
And I think that's exactly right. It's actually more work. You know what I mean? What I can compare it to is running ads. I see this a lot. People decide they want to do affiliate marketing or digital marketing or sell something, and they don't want to create content every day. So they're like, I'll just run ads. I got some money.
Yeah.
But I've been an organic marketer for 12 years. I've run paid ads since like 2015, I think. And I can promise you, paid traffic is 1,000 times harder. Yes, it's more scalable when you're good at it and you find the right messaging and offer fit, and but even then, your quality creatives fatigue, and then you got to find new ones. I mean, organic is the easiest, is what it really comes down to, because people buy from people, and you have a unique competitive advantage when you put your face out there because you're unique, right? You're not like me. I'm not like you. We like each other, but we have different styles. We have different backstories. We have different ways we deliver content. And that's what people will resonate with. And the bottom line is you can leverage the organic algorithms to let them figure out who's going to like you. Not everyone has to like you. I mean, quite frankly, if you're selling a high ticket product, a couple hundred people a year need to like you, and you're doing, your top 1%, as far as income
Exactly.
goes. And that's really what it comes down to. So faceless marketing, I often challenge people who are interested in it. And what I mean is I get a lot of emails, people asking about my program, my coaching program, my mentorship, my course, and all that stuff. And I get a lot of people who are like, do you teach faceless? And I say, well, no. And instead of just launching into it and why I don't think it's the most effective way to market and I don't think it really works all that well, I just say, hey, have you ever bought anything more than $50 from a faceless marketing channel? I mean, even $100 shoes, you buy them from a brand. You don't
Yeah.
buy them from a like I'm not going to go buy a pair of Nikes because I saw some random B-roll footage of, you know what I mean? I'm either going to see a creator who's wearing them on the basketball court and I'm like, this guy's cool, those shoes are cool, or I'm going to see a branded ad from Nike who's spent 20, 30 years building up their brand. That's what we buy from. You don't buy from words on B-roll footage, I don't think, especially if you're spending $500 to $1,000. So that's what I ask. Have you ever bought anything from them?
Right.
And their answer is always no. It's always they're buying faceless marketing from someone who's putting their face on camera. So once again, the math isn't mathing.
That's exactly right. I mean, it's probably these marketers, trying to get another income stream in their belt, right? And then the new opportunity comes out, which is faceless marketing. And I have seen a lot of misleading accounts as well, where they started regular and they made a bunch of money, and then they created a faceless account, but now they started utilizing those results from their first account with their faceless account. So now they made $200, I mean 200K a month with a faceless account, but they don't really realize that they started regular. You get me? So that's a little misleading, and I have seen this with some of the marketers out there. So I don't know. I feel like this industry is getting super messy, especially with all the noise. There's a lot of noise.
Well, I can tell you, Andre, as someone who's been doing this for 12 years, this industry has always been messy. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
money, right? It's money. And, the biggest sharks in the digital marketing game are in this niche. Um, the lines people will cross, they'll cross them the furthest in this niche. The second is probably like the weight loss niche and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But why is that? Because there's the most money to be made in money. So you just got to understand that going in. This is not something you want to come in and, you know, be a little daisy, What is it? Like I'd rather be a warrior in a garden than a garden in a warrior, you know what I mean? Or a gardener in a
Yeah.
war. Um, you got to come in and be ready to be a warrior. You know what I mean? You can be cool, you can be chill. I feel like I'm pretty chill, you're pretty chill. But you got to deep down, you got to have a little warrior in you to be able to stomach this because it does get messy. And it's interesting what you said about people leveraging their faceless success on their face forward channel because that's been going on in this industry for as long as time. People go out there, and this is exactly what happened with this is like, okay, all these people are objecting to going on camera. Let's go out there and validate a faceless account. And so if you're a great marketer who has the experience, then you can go out and validate a faceless account. Like I could go out, create a faceless channel, sell a MRR product or an affiliate product or legendary marketer or my own thing. It doesn't matter. And I could go out there and make 5 sales. Okay. And then I would validate it. I could be like, see, it works. But how would I sell that?
Hmm.
Not that I'm going to do it, but I would sell it face forward. But you got to think about now, what kind of results are you going to get if you go toe to toe with something like I did, right? If you're brand new and you're like, okay, cool. If he got 5 sales, then I can get 5 sales. No, if I got 5 sales, you might be able to get 1 sale. Are you willing to go out there and spend the next 2 months trying to figure out this faceless content and build up the backlog of content and edit 1,000 videos to make 1 sale? It just doesn't make any sense to me because you're not going to get the results that you want. And if you do, you're one of the lucky ones, I think, because there's nothing behind it. There's no connection. There's no trust. There's nothing other than hoping to go viral and hoping to run into one person who spends all willy-nilly and buys emotionally. It's like buying a lottery ticket with a worse
Yeah.
payout. At least if you buy a lottery ticket, you can make millions if you get lucky. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. At least for me, I wouldn't buy from a faceless account, for example. You get me? Another thing also is you kind of lose your marketing side of it because now you're not the face of your brand anymore. You get me? You're utilizing other people's videos, I guess. You can communicate with your audience as well out there. So you can do the talking head videos. You get me? If you're doing like faceless marketing. Most of the faceless marketing that I sing is all focused on income claims. Most of it, I don't really see how they can teach or educate people, or maybe edutainment, right? Because that's very popular and it's always been golden, edutainment. When you're educate and you entertain people at the same time, um, that's so difficult to do with a faceless marketing. So if you're somebody that wants to do faceless marketing and purchases a faceless marketing course, you're probably just gonna try to do faceless, but I'm 100% sure you're not gonna be successful doing it. You're just basically got that best new offer from a different marketer and you went for it thinking it was gonna be great like everything else, and then it didn't work out.
Yeah, and let's think about this from like an AI perspective. Like AI
Hmm.
is hot right now, and I think there's people kind of sitting on the sidelines thinking, "Oh man, just when AI gets a little bit better, meaning I can create faceless content and promote stuff, then I'm jumping in." But what's going to happen as soon as AI gets to the point where it's like, dude, I can create great videos that are captivating, the market's going to be flooded, right? Because now it's just AI. Now every country in the world can just flood the market. So what happens? Well, there's no ability to stand out at that point. And that's what marketing is. It's standing out. It's being different. And when you put your face on camera, guess what? You're different. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
And it just works at that point because there's going to be people out there who are like, hey, this person's different and I kind of like it. Whatever it is, maybe it's because they're Peruvian or they know someone from Peru. Maybe it's someone who lost their hair. Maybe it's someone who's got two kids. It all comes down to my story, and that's what attracts people. The fact that I used to be in the restaurant industry
Yep.
attracts my customers. A lot of my customers who spend a lot of money with me have backgrounds in the restaurant industry because we have that
Exactly.
connection.
And you're telling your story, Brian. That's why I connected with you. I saw your videos on TikTok. You had like 170,000 followers, and I saw your videos, and I knew you used to work in the restaurant industry. And since then, we clicked. I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen to this guy just because I can relate to him. And for example, a faceless marketing, how is that person gonna tell their story other than saying they made so much money faceless with faceless content? You get
Yeah.
me? Like there's no connection there. I think it's you lose the essence of being a human, I guess, also, right? Because you can connect with people. People are gonna reach out to you. Yeah, you're probably gonna go viral too because it's hot right now. But that connection, how are you gonna make that sell? Without a
And that,
connection, I don't think you can make a sell.
yeah. And that's the thing too, is what's going to happen when this opportunity is gone? Because what can you sell with a faceless channel other than a faceless marketing course? I don't know. So for example, let me put it into real life context is, I started with Shopify and e-commerce and then transitioned into affiliate marketing and then transitioned into my own product. And it doesn't matter what I'm promoting. People follow me. Right? And I have a built-in audience that I've carried with me for years. And that's where the real money comes into play. Because why? Because I'm the expert. If I switch to something, then people will follow me. You're
Mm-hmm.
not going to follow a faceless channel to the next opportunity. So best case scenario, you go out there and make a few grand and then you can't reproduce it. It's crazy. And that's the other thing, like you said, they're relying on income claims, which is a hot topic now. So maybe it's time to transition into income claims.
Yep.
Ooh, boy.
So right, hold on. One last thought about the faceless thing. If you wanna do a faceless marketing right now, I would suggest you do it on your own and you validate it by yourself before you start basically promoting something else. So if right now you have your account where you show your face, that's your main account, create a different one and then just try it out. You get me? Just try it out,
100%.
validate it. Don't use your results from your other account. Just start from scratch, like if you were a beginner, and see if it works. It might work. You might get a couple sales or maybe even blow up, right? But you need to validate it for yourself and not take a look at what other marketers are saying because you never know if it's misleading or no. But yep, income claims, Brian. It is time, right?
It's one of those things. And you know, let's set the record straight. Let's clear the air. Let's be open and honest here. I've used income claims.
Mm-hmm.
I've used stories from my success. I'm not saying I never have. I'm not saying I never will again. But as the market shifts and income claims become a hot button topic, I'm a marketer. So I have to kind of follow what people are talking about, right? The easiest way to insert yourself into the conversation as a marketer is jump in the middle of what people are talking about. And people are talking about income claims right now. So I've been doing a lot of research into it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I would call independent research, meaning I'm not listening to a bunch of people's opinions. I'm out there like really going through marketers' content and just trying to decide what's an income claim, what's a testimonial, what's a result, what's a promise, and that's what is interesting here is income claims is a result, right? If you say, hey, this made me 50 grand, that's a result. And if we're selling products like digital products, courses, training, mentorship, that's really what we're selling is we're selling the result. So to say don't use income claims, it's kind of weird because
Yeah.
what other result is there other than, hey, guess this worked? It made me money. But where it gets sticky in my mind is, an income claim is also it can be presented as a promise of a future result, right? Like past performance doesn't indicate future results. That's like the classic disclaimer or whatever. But at what point are we putting things out there that look like results, but really are promises to our potential clients? And that's what I'm seeing is the gray area. And I guess it comes down to ethics because I want to be able to educate my audience and my students in a way that says, hey, look, this is 100% compliant. And more importantly, this is above board, meaning you're representing your brand with integrity. So I guess we just got to get into it and hear what you think about it.
Yeah, as far as for me, I have used them in the past as well, but that was never my focus to just be my marketing, you get me? And I think that's where other marketers, that's all they're focused on, of just doing those type of videos. And if I look at their stories, I made this much, look at these people making this much money as well, but that's literally the whole focus of their marketing, which I have done in the past, but now we're learning everything about, the new compliance with legendary marketer. It just opened my eyes to like the opportunity to make this go for the long run. You get me? And that's why recently I made a completely shift on my marketing as well. So I don't even talk about the business anymore. Now I'm like having fun with it, right? Like all my content is just like funny education, and I'm just having fun with it at this point, where I have gone with different types of accounts. For example, doing the side hustle videos as well. You get me? Where I did them and they worked for a little bit and then they stopped working. I also did the income claims, which I thought it was gonna work for me, which I didn't. They worked for a little bit and then they stopped working. You get me? So now when that happened, I guess I myself got a little fucked up. So I didn't really I was basically not seeing straight, I guess you can say. You get me? I was blinded by all these people talking about the same thing, about which was basically just income claims, that I forgot myself. And I had a conversation about this with my wife too. She's like, "Wow, now you're back to how you used to be, making this the funny content." You get me? Because I remember that she used to love watching those videos back in the day when I first started, and I just forgot about that. Will you get me? Because of all these other marketers doing things differently. So now I guess I'm going back to my roots, how I started this business and how I found it entertaining to entertain people. Like I have a blast doing it. So that's where my focus is now. But yeah, man, it's just getting out of control, and it sucks because we have a lot of past guests in this podcast, and I still see them, and I kind of want to tell them, are you ever gonna stop doing that? You get me? Like at some point, will you evolve your marketing? You get me? So that's where I'm like, damn, like, and I keep seeing them do it. So I don't know, I'm not gonna say anything. Of course, it's their business, but it just makes me feel like, come on, it's time to change.
Yeah, it to draw a parallel, I mean, it's like a drug. It's like taking a bump of cocaine, if
Yeah.
you're not that I know, but you know, we talk about those Michigan State University days, but that's not for my kids might watch this someday. So, anyways, but the point I'm getting at is it does like it's a juice, and just like you said, it worked, but it doesn't work, and it's just like that first bump or whatever. I'm not really into drugs, but that first bump, it's like juices you up and then it drops you off and then you go hit a low, and that's exactly what income claims do. It's like it might juice your account up, but then it just goes down and down because it doesn't work, because it's just numbers. And it you know if someone says I made $1,000 this week, and then I made $5,000 this week, and I made $10,000, right? It just keeps getting higher and higher and higher, and it's just like you got to do more drugs to get to the same high. And then eventually it's just like, well, what's the difference if they made $100,000 or $200,000? And I don't even know if this is legit anymore. And that's when it comes crashing down. And that's when you can't get the high anymore. And that's, in income claim marketing, that's when you can't get the sale anymore. Like there's someone who I don't know how, oh, I know how he ended up on her list. And I'm not going to go into any details because I'm not trying to put anybody on blast. But literally, I pulled up an email from her. What if you could make truly passive sales without social media? Well, I partnered with so and so who made 19K in 1 week and 82,024 alone. And then it's just screenshot, 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 picture on the beach, picture with a purse, a designer bag. And she's riding the high up right now. Like she's taking more and more drugs to get there. And eventually she's going to realize,
Yeah.
she can't get high anymore. She can't make sales anymore.
Yeah.
And, it's, you know, I guess some people could look at that and be like, I don't care. I'll do whatever it takes to make 200 grand this
Right.
year. Yeah. But then what? Because you're going to buy the car. You're going to maybe buy the house if you have a good year. And then what? You're going to lose it. Just
Mm-hmm.
like with drugs, man. You're going to lose everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to end up not where you were. You're going to end up below where you were, because now you're going to be frustrated because you had a taste of it and you can't achieve it again. It's just not worth it.
Yeah.
And like I say, time and time again, Andrei, I've had great months, but I don't even care about that. The fact that I've been doing this full time for 8 years is what I will tell anybody is the biggest accomplishment, because that's what it's all about. I mean, I promise you, you don't need income claims to make X, whatever your number is. And I promise you, once you make 400 a year, it's pretty hard to spend it at that point. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's, this whole digital marketing thing, it's not some back alley, deal anymore. It's not, it's still a little bit wild, wild west, but it's a legitimate business now.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to treat it like one, because you can literally do this for the rest of your life, assuming we don't have any barrier to creating content, right? As long as these platforms want us to create content for free, and as long as people want to search this content that is user generated content, that we always have the ability to get our message out there. And if we can get our message out there, then we can make sales.
Yeah. Some people, I think they're treating it as it's quick money still, right? So they have that focus, oh yeah, this is quick money, let's jump to this, let's make quick money, and then that's it, let's just ride it till it dies, basically. And those marketers are the ones that got kicked out from Legendary Marketer. You get me? Because they were getting emails from the compliance team to fix some issues, maybe like a screenshot or a commission, or you talk about that you made this match, which are things that you can fix and they're fixable, right? And then they didn't want to do it, right? So they go like, I feel like their heads just got too big, and at that point, what happened? They burned a bridge. You get me? So now they burned that bridge with Legendary Marketer, and they're never gonna come back to Legendary Marketer. Of course, there's always other opportunities out there, but now when you have that image, the other day I saw somebody crying on their stories, and then it's just like, well, it's true though, like you basically talked about one product for so long, and then when you got kicked out, you change completely, and now all your results are, or all the skills that you learn are based out of the new product, you know. And it's very misleading, especially when you have a big audience. And yeah, a lot of people are probably not happy about it. You get me? And that doesn't mean she's not successful anymore. She's great. She's doing amazing. But regardless, though, I will feel bad as a person. You get me? I would just feel bad. I don't know if I would want to continue with the same account, for example. That's why every time I switch programs, I change accounts too. You get me? I want to start from scratch. I want to promote this thing, and then with a brand new audience, right? And I wasn't gonna take my other audience to a different product from the get go. I didn't want to hurt what I had already built. So I
Yeah,
don't
and
know.
that's the whole point. If you stay above board and ethical, then you
Yeah,
can take your audience. And I'm not saying you weren't. I totally get what you're saying because you kind of go through different seasons as you're a marketer because the whole landscape changes and but you're exactly right. It's like, I've said this before, we're selling digital products, but we're not in the digital products business. We're in the leadership business. And that's why when I switch an offer, people get excited about it because they know I've done my due diligence and I stand behind it. And, 2 years down the road, I might be like, well, this is no longer the hot opportunity. Well, guess what? That's the reality of digital marketing. It goes fast and it
yeah,
goes faster every year. So it's like, if I switch something, you better be ready to go because I put the work in, the back work, the research, I've validated it, and it's go time, right?
yep,
And you lose that when you just jump because of outside circumstances. And you're exactly right. All these folks who got kicked out of a program, they got the warning. I got
yeah,
2 compliance emails from Legendary Marketer. The first one, I was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that. The second one was like, it was it was misread by their compliance team. But the bottom line is, I still took it down,
yeah. You
right?
can communicate.
Yeah, I say, hey, you know what? I don't think it is actually against your terms because of this is the way I said it. But hey, I don't want to burn any bridges. I took it down. Simple as
Yeah.
that.
And the thing about it is that, at least from our experience, we didn't get kicked out out of
No.
Legendary. You know, even though we have done income claims in the past, we haven't gotten kicked out, right? We never got that email. My account was never deactivated. I was approved to the new Facebook group like that. You get me? So all I did was just, okay, I fixed the issues that were there in the past, and I'm promoting them still right now. I'm getting commissions from them right now. You get me? So it's like it's working, which now it will take us to the next topic, right? The new 5-day challenge for legendary marketer. And I looked at it because I didn't want to fuck it up again. Learn, launch, and lead. So that's the name of the new 5-day challenge, which I'm really excited about. I'm actually on day 3 right now. I haven't completed it. I need to do day 4 and day 5. But man, he in the first video that I saw on day 1, like he's just talking not crap about other things, but I love how he says it's the resale pyramid scheme. That's what Dave calls it, the MRR Corsair, the resell this, resell that.
Yeah, and let's be fair, Dave's a marketer, you know what I mean? And one of the easiest ways to market is when you're not number one, you attack number one, right? And it's in the make money online space. There's probably always going to be a little bit of gray area, but what he's doing is he's using a brilliant marketing tactic, right? Right now, currently, Legendary Marketer is not number one on TikTok. Master Resell Rights is. So what does he do? The smart thing, he attacks it. And he doesn't bash it, but he's like,
Mm-mm.
well, here's the things you might want to look out for, which is totally fair and totally brilliant marketing. So I do want to talk about your experience with it because you've started it and I have not yet because we've been super busy with sports and band and athletics and all that stuff with our kids. Because it's that season, it's spring, so that's spring ball and all that stuff. But before we do, I want to make a point about what we've kind of been talking about. Is you mentioned that he launches the new 5-day challenge. My commissions on that have been rolling in, and obviously it's not a lot of money. I think it's like $2 or whatever. But who knows
Mm-hmm.
who's going to upgrade into the blueprints in the next couple weeks. But the bottom line is why is that? I haven't sent one email, made one post, done anything to promote this 5-day challenge, yet my commissions are rolling in from it. Why is that? Well, it goes back to the type of person I attracted originally by not just income claim, income claim, income claim. It's like, hey, here's an opportunity to sell stuff online and let's talk about marketing. And the point I'm getting at is the people that I've attracted to Legendary Marketer 3 years ago, they're the ones who are buying now that there's a new thing because they're still cookied to me. And that's because I brought people in with the, hey, let's learn marketing messaging. So the people I brought in still want to learn marketing 3 years later. Some of them may be doing very well. I don't know. I don't know a lot of these people. Some of them might still be trying to figure it out. But the bottom line is that they're still interested in the game because they were attracted the right way the first time. And what does that come down to? That's customer lifetime value. And that's what you lose as well. But let's talk about the specifics of it.
So yeah, that 5 day challenge, right? From Dave Sharp. First of all, I took the 15-day challenge, right? And now you say that we're getting all those commissions rolling in, right? And you don't even know how. It's probably people that you bought the 15-day challenge in the past and now they bought the new product, which is the 5 day challenge, which is understandable because I have gotten those commissions too from like, well, how am I getting this, right? And the thing about it also is that it's a new product. It's a new front door. It's a new offer. Remember a few weeks ago or a few months ago, remember how I felt like I needed to change the offer. I needed to change the way it looked, like the sales page or stuff like that, right? Remember we talked about it when I
Mm-hmm.
changed to the other product? Well, now it's a complete new offer. So this is what I was waiting for Legendary to do for such a long time. I was waiting for them to actually change everything for such a long time, and now they finally did it in a good way. And now, of course, I started with Legendary, so I'm always gonna go back to Legendary, especially because now they're being more strict and I'm following the rules. That is what it is at the end of the day. So yeah, this new product I bought it myself too, and some of the things that are different that I can tell you right now is now you get to choose if you want to work with an advisor or no. So that's the first option that pops up, right? You get to choose if you want to work with an advisor or you don't, and you start with day one. Another things that I noticed that I didn't notice back in the 15-day challenge is that they do follow up now. So you get email follow up. As soon as you start day one, you get an email saying this is what you're gonna look in day one, blah 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 blah. Now let's say you don't finish day one, you're gonna get another email. Hey, where are you? Why haven't you finished day one? And then as soon as you move to day two, you get another email. Welcome to day two. This is what you're gonna learn here. And then let's say you don't finish day two, and it's the same process, right? So right now I'm on day three. This weekend I didn't get a chance to finish it, but I got emails from their marketing team saying, "Hey, you haven't finished day three. What's going on?" So I like how they're doing more follow through, I guess you can say, which every specific day. And I mean the content is great, right? The content is brand new. The first day, at least they talk about the business model, digital marketing in general. Talking about affiliate marketing, events, coaching, and all of that. Just a little bit, the basics of it, right? They go with faceless marketing because what they want to do is they want people to just launch, right? They want people to just have a business and just launch one way or another. So they talk a lot about faceless marketing, and then on day three they go more into content and hooks, and then value and then story and how to create more engagement for your accounts, right? I haven't reached the other 2 days, but I'm sure they're gonna talk about mindset and then funnels and then how to set up your business. And I'm sure day five is more like a webinar for the high ticket. But I don't know if you still have to jump on a call with an advisor if you decided not to purchase the blueprints, for example. I haven't gotten that far, but so far I'm loving it. I mean, new sales page, new sales video, and I think they're testing out different ones as well as we speak. Um, and I think it's just what a lot of marketers were looking for, just like a fresh air, basically, right? For their own marketing strategies.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. It's a new front door. This is exactly what we were talking about. I don't know if Dave was an avid listener of the show here, but I'm sure he's been thinking about this a lot longer than we've been talking about it. But it's exactly right. Now it's a new front door. It's still the same blueprints in the back,
Mm-hmm.
still the same commission structure as far as I know. But yeah, it's a new front door, so it's a brand new, fresh opportunity. So if you fell out of favor with Legendary Marketer, now's a great time to jump back into it. And if you've been wanting to do Legendary Marketer and you know, at least get the education. And when you go through the education, you know, my number one recommendation here is yeah, listen to what he's saying. Right, he'll teach you some stuff. He's a long time successful marketer. You're gonna learn some stuff, but also watch what he's doing. Like literally think about it. Like, okay, why are we talking about this in day one? And just kind of run it through your head. Okay, and well, he's got to set the stage, right? And then why are we talking about this in day two? And what you're going to learn is you're going to learn that this is kind of like a sideways webinar, right? And it's how you sell stuff online at scale. So if you go through this and just think, why is he saying this now? Then you're going to start to look at your notes or whatever and be like, okay, cool. This is how I build a webinar. And if you can learn how to build a webinar, then you can sell anything online. So I think it's a really great opportunity. And the other thing is I think really they looked at the market with the business plan advisors and was like, well, you know, maybe people are scared to get on these calls, so maybe
Mhm.
it's costing us sales. Yeah, there are some people who want that support, want to talk to a human, you know, so it's still available. But
Yeah.
maybe it was a bottleneck. Maybe it was a point of friction, you know, where it's like, okay, people are dropping off because they're too afraid to schedule the calls, so they never get to day four, so they never buy anything.
Yeah, I think that's their focus, completion. You
Yeah.
get me? Because I'm sure a lot of people bought, oh, I need to speak with somebody. No, I'm not ready for that. I wasn't ready to speak with nobody
Mhm.
when I first purchased the $7 training, right? Um, so I never even went on my calls, right? So it was like I don't want to do it right now, right? Maybe in the future. So I think that's where they're focusing on completion. And also we haven't touched this. It's a different price point already, you know. So it's only $5 to get started now instead of $7. So of course it looks more attractive, you know. It's a new offer, new product. It's still Dave Sharp. He never changes. And yeah, I mean he's still one of my mentors, and I still follow what he says. The new Facebook group where the affiliates are right now, it's great. The community is great. Everybody's sharing stuff. And you know, this is a perfect opportunity for those marketers that are still with legendary marketer to build more of their credibility and to have, you know, more of like a more to put your print into that community, right? Because you've seen
Mhm.
many people, you know, share and help out other affiliates, especially in the community. This is how you're gonna get your name out to the top in their community, and that's how you're gonna be more successful, I guess you can say.
Yeah, and this is just a perfect example of what I said earlier, where it's like this is information, but it's not an information business. This is a leadership business, and Dave Sharp is the ultimate leader. If he's nothing else, he's the ultimate leader, and that's what makes him so successful. And if you want to be really successful in this game, that's what it takes. I mean, he is literally getting people excited about compliance. You know what I mean? I mean, that's a hell of a leadership right there.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, did you see the live with Jonathan Montoya as well?
I did some of it. I popped in for
Yes.
a few minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, so you know, Jonathan Montoya was just he just wanted to know why he didn't follow the guidelines, I guess, right? And then it was an interesting life, you know, because Dave is there explaining it. It's not like Dave was targeting him, you know. It just happened. He was just one of the people that follow or fell into the category, and then it just happened, right? He just got deactivated just because, and then I think he got reinstated now. Um, but it's just a learning experience, definitely, because now people are more weary about it. You know, back in the day, nobody talked about this, right? And that's something that he said also on the live. Like he didn't know. You know, he didn't know that he couldn't say some stuff either, right? So now he just doesn't get to the point where he's gonna get sued by the FTC, just how Onik got sued. And that reminds me, I need to listen to that podcast. Don't say that as well. I haven't looked at it right now, but I mean, hey, hopefully, you know, we can reach out to them and maybe we can have them on our podcast and talk about compliance. You get me? So it will be like a cool training, especially for all of our listeners, since our main focus is affiliate marketing, you know, and doing things right and helping beginners or experienced people.
Yeah, and and the whole point of this too to remember is, we talked about, or I've certainly talked about watching the legendary marketer compliance video,
Mm-hmm.
and with the gentleman that they had on who was a litigator and I think even presided over some digital marketing compliance cases as a judge, is that this isn't a situation where, oh, we can't do income claims, so now we got to limp into this game with one leg chopped off. No, it's you don't need them. And oh, by the way, if you do marketing this way instead, you could actually see more success. It really what it is. It's like, okay, what are we doing here? Well, we're trying to bulk up. We're trying to build muscle. In this case, muscle is income. So instead of taking steroids, we just hit the gym and work out and get long-term results that don't shrink our pee or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what steroids do, but the bottom line is we can get the same results or better results without the negative side effects. And that's what this is all about, is just stay away from
Yeah.
the quick fix because you don't need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like don't do it this way, but there's other ways you can do it, you know? One thing that I took from that compliance training was the testimonials, right? Even for my own business, my own program, I have videos from my own people, my own students talking about how their experience with my company, right? And then I took it as far as like okay, I need to take this out of my websites, right? Or out of my funnels, and then I created a Trustpilot account, and now people are reviewing the course itself. And I got in more than 50 5-star reviews. You get me? So now I feel like that's gonna sell more because that's what he said on the compliance. Like these things will sell more and will help you more with your business than having somebody talk on camera with their results. People want to know what they learn inside the course. People want to know how the learning experience was. People want to know what the community feels like. People want to know that they don't feel alone. All those things, people are writing it on my reviews now. So now I'm
Mm-hmm.
utilizing that and leveraging those reviews on my websites now, on my funnels, right? So that little thing, it's making a difference because now I feel like my company is more trusted that way. Instead of just asking a random student to make a video for me, I feel like this speaks way more than just those simple testimonials that I ask from people.
Yeah, and it's interesting what you say too, because that's what I focus on with my testimonials. So I have a testimonial reel, which I put on my checkout page, and it's basically just clips from a bunch of different students.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts off with the big hook, where Josh Smith, who's been a past guest, I was like, I took his funnels, and sure enough, within 6 to 8 months, I made $100,000. That's the opening line. That's the hook. But
Mm-hmm.
every other toast testimonial after that is about the feelings that people get and the clarity that you're receiving, not income. It's, gosh, he just explains it in a way that makes sense. And gosh, I've had more confidence in my business than I've ever had. And it's
Yeah.
those feelings are what really sell better than, yeah, I made 60 grand, because that's arbitrary. Someone might not even want to make 60 grand. They just like, dude, I'll be happy with $100 a month or $100 a week. And some people might be thinking 60 grand a month, that's peanuts, or it's not believable or whatever. You know what I mean? And that stuff is arbitrary, where it's like, if you come into this and you feel confident and you're getting clarity, that's what people are after. They're after that certainty that, gosh, if I go with this person, I'm going to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's all about that experience, what they feel while they're doing something, right? Or when they purchase something, what did they feel when they purchase it? Did they learn something, first of all, right? Did they think it was a good course? Did they give you high income skills that can help you with any other aspect of your online business or your life as well, right? So all those things, they open your mind. That's why the first day for my program is mindset. I don't even talk about the business at all. It's just mindset, and it's mindset also like take care of yourself, like go for a walk, go for a run, like take care of yourself first, because if you're not good physically and mentally, you won't be successful with this business. A lot of people, they don't have the right mindset, right? If you think it's quick money, you're not gonna get far, right? Because they want that instant gratification. So I always just teach mindset first, and from there it gets on with the juicy stuff later on, right? Like the funnels and everything else. But yeah, mindset is the first thing I teach because I want them to feel something. I want them to do better in life and not just make money.
Right. And that's what it all comes down to is it's an opportunity to just do better. Like this podcast, when we first started, we had an intro and we cut it out because we decided we wanted to get straight to the juicy stuff and hook people in. But it started off with, the evolution of your marketing will be the catalyst for the evolution of your business, will transform into the evolution of your life or something like that. And that's really what this is when you start doing better for your business and your income, then you have the opportunity to start doing better for your health and your relationships, and then just life gets better. And it's kind of the classic saying of how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? And that's exactly what, if you come into this game thinking it's going to be quick money and you just were like, well, income claims are working and let's just ride this train in the easiest way possible, then guess what? You're probably also going to skip the gym, right? You're going to eat pizza instead of and not that you can't eat pizza from time to time, but you're just how you do one thing is how you do everything. If you come
Yeah.
into this like, gosh, I want to learn the skills and I want to increase my ability to generate income online and I want to help other people do it, then guess what? That'll transform or transfer into, gosh, I'd like to have more energy. So instead of, I'm going to go to the gym 3 days a week and I'm going to eat well. And it like seeps in through every aspect of your life.
Yeah, it goes well in hand. Same like with the marriage. You have a happy marriage, you have a successful business. It's that simple.
Mhm.
It's that simple. You're happy with your life, you have a successful business. And this is what I learned from Garrett, Jay White,
Mhm.
funnel hacking life, right? He Gareth, right? Gareth, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He will say, yeah, happy marriage, happy business, successful business. And that's exactly true. You take care of yourself, you take care of the people around you, and then you will be successful. You will have a better mentality with how you go about with other things. But yeah, man, I think this whole episode, it got my juices going, because I wasn't here last week, so bro, it felt super weird. No, not doing it last week. I was telling my wife too that like I feel so horrible. Like it just feels weird. Like I feel weird not talk to Brian at least once a week.
It is weird too. It's like when you first get started with this, right? So whether it's your first time and it's your first time creating daily content or it's this podcast, right? It's like in the beginning, it's like, oh boy, we got to do this. I don't know and then we just settle in. And then it's like, I feel pain if I'm not doing it. Right. Like I've been creating content every single day since April 2nd now. And I've said this before, I've been consistent for 8 years, but I've never created daily content. And at first it was like, oh, I got to create another video today and I got to get to it. But now it's like, dude, if I don't create that video, it's like I'm itchy. It's like, oh, I got to get it out. You know what I mean? And it's just like going
Yeah,
to the gym. If you go to the gym the first time, day one's like, oh, I feel like shit. But then after that, it's like, if I don't go to the gym, man, I'm not going to have energy. I'm going to be dragging. It's just like it works its way into its life, into your life, and it makes it better. So yeah, it's really, yeah, I'm glad you're back too. It was I loved our guest and he was a great guy and easy to talk to and really knowledgeable and super successful. But it was weird not having you there.
I know. But we're back. We learned the habits, right? This is a habit, At first, it was a drag, bro. Like jumping on these calls, but now it's so much fun. It's great doing it, and we gotten better at it for sure. We implemented new things. But yeah, I think episode 81. I think this is episode 81. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're just gonna keep going. We haven't missed a single week.
Yeah.
So that's important. I think that says a lot about our persistence, our consistency, and I hope everybody will take a look at what we're doing as well, and maybe even replicate it in the future. Depending on what point you are with your business, because I would love to see a bunch of little mini podcasts from Evolve Marketing Podcast. Like it would be cool to see.
Yeah, you talk about like in the NFL football, like the Bill Belichick coaching tree. Maybe we'll have the Evolved Marketing podcast tree where it's like, oh, I've been listening to you for a year and started my own, and we'll see where it goes. And and
Yeah.
hopefully people go out there and it has been fun because the feedback, we're not huge, but the feedback is, wow, this is great. This is different. I enjoy listening to it every week. And that's what we do it for. We do it for the listeners who enjoy this longer form content. And I think with that being said, we appreciate the listeners that tuned in today and every week. And I think that brings episode 81 to a close, huh?
Peace out, everybody. We'll see you guys on the next week on another episode of the Evolve Marketing Podcast.